Hey TikTok, this is Apostle Ely. We here again. Y'all, it has been one of these days. Actually, it's been a good day, but it has been a lot going on and looking for God to do some extraordinary things tonight. And as you see, we're going to be talking about manifesting your approach. Yeah, we're going to get in tonight as they get ready to chime in and come through. Hopefully, I'm trying to get it started earlier so I can get off and actually eat and get myself together. We certainly thank God for what He has been doing. I'm really appreciative of the things that He has been doing. Looks like we got Brother Mario coming in first. Make sure you guys, as you come in, that you are putting in your zodiac sign. Um, as they joining in, they're coming in. Make sure you guys are putting in your zodiac sign. Thank you so very much. As you guys know, that Apostle Ely teaches a lot of universal laws. As I said on the onset, if you are not 18 years or older, my lives are not for you. Um, those that come in this live, we're asking that you guys will. Is that Bella? Is that Bella? Oh, no, no, that's not Bella. Brialicious 69. All right now. But guys, you guys chime in. Make sure you guys are putting in your zodiac sign. If you have questions based on the topic, you're more than welcome to ask questions regarding the topic that we're going to talk about tonight. Any of you guys have been in my live for the first time? Oh, they're coming in. Come through. Don't be ashamed. Don't be bashful. I won't bite. Not least tonight. Okay? I'm waiting for my other moderators to come through. Thank you so much for joining our live. I'm glad some of y'all brave enough to come into my live. Thank you so much. We're going to be teaching some knowledge. Make sure you guys are dropping your zodiac sign. I want to see, I just seen just Capricorn. I see some other ones chiming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As you join in, they're going to be clicking in. I'm waiting on my other moderator. Thank you so much for sharing my live, Brother Mario. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about some stuff tonight. And hopefully that many of you all, one of the things that I try to be very upfront with people, my spirituality is deep-rooted in African tradition. I'm here to teach universal laws. So therefore, no matter what your spiritual faith is, no matter what your denomination is, in every denomination, every tradition, there are certain principles. They may be called different things, but they're coming from the same, oasis of information. And if you apply this knowledge that I'm giving you, it will help you tremendously. All right. Now, as you guys are chiming in, please put your zodiac sign in if you do not mind. These are the rules of the house of these particular lives. I utilize your zodiac sign to share certain information. And so therefore, as we chime in, we're going to be talking about manifesting your approach. A lot of people, because of training, because of other people that they have saw do certain things in their spiritual practice, they don't really understand what's the big deal about the approach. Why would I prepare myself to practice my spirituality? Why would I prepare myself in order to congregate with the spirit, congregate with the ancestors, congregate with the Orishas, congregate with the Loas? What is the whole purpose behind preparation? What is the whole purpose around going through all the motion, going through all the process? A lot of times, even when I see people prepare candles, they don't go through the process of cleansing themselves. They don't go through the process of adorning themselves. They don't go through the process of manifesting because they don't understand the significance of preparation. I'm going to deal with some biblical scriptures tonight, and hopefully, as we talk about this tonight, that you will be able to have a better understanding why it is important to prepare yourself. Thank you so much for sharing my live. Esther, the 2nd chapter, 12th verse. It says this: in 12 months before her turn to go to the king, after she had to complete 12 months of preparation according to the regulations for the women. It goes on to say, for this was the days of their preparation apportioned 6 months, y'all, with the oil of myrrh, which represents sanctification, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the woman. The reason, hey there, Jay, thank you so much for joining our live. I'm gonna, right here. Here is women that are trying to approach the king. Symbolism, y'all. They took 12 complete months before they actually approach the king. In a lot of traditions, a lot of people get frustrated with all the preparation and the purifying that they have to go through in order. Hey there, man. They don't understand why that is so important. Why would you have to purify yourself? Why would you have to cleanse yourself before dealing with the divine? Before dealing with those that are ascended masters, or the archangels, or the Loas, or the Orishas? Because a lot of people do not understand that you have to be at a certain vibration. Good evening. Hey there, how you doing? Make sure you guys are chiming in with your zodiac sign. We're talking about tonight manifesting your approach, understanding why you just can't walk up to a spirit, why you just can't walk up to God, why you just can't walk up to an Orisha, why you just can't just say, oh, I'm going to go and commune with Oshun. It don't work like that. And a lot of people don't get Sagittarian. All right, I'm a fellow Sagittarian. A lot of people don't understand because they don't understand energy, they don't understand vibration, they don't understand frequency. Because of a lot of us, the things that we eat, the things that we do, the things that we put into our bodies, it lowers our frequency. And before we can actually entertain the ancestors or entertain spirits of higher dimensions, we have to cleanse ourselves, our energy, our spirit, in order to vibrate on a higher level, in order to interact with those spirits. This is why you see certain traditions go through all these bath cleansings and go through all these washing and wearing white, because the whole purpose of doing all these things is to cleanse the spirit, to cleanse the body, and to cleanse the mind. Now, Taurus in the house, thank you so much for joining us, Sister Jackie. Now, I know a lot of you all would not and have not been trained. Why would somebody have to spend that kind of money in just purification? Because you don't understand energy. You don't understand frequency. If you have the wrong vibration and you come before the king in those days, you could lose your life. When you come before the Holy of Holies and your spirit or your energy is not clean, what happens is that you get rejected. Like Cain gave God an offering and it was rejected because of the frequency of the vibration. He made his offering from a cursed thing. What brand is your wig? Okay, thank you so much for joining us. No, we're gonna do a little more than that. We're gonna do something better. We're gonna block him. Yes. We're not dealing with that. Thank you so much. You don't have to worry about him anymore. Now, if you are in this live, you're 18 years or older, and you are practicing your spirituality. And any religion, any spirituality, there's a certain level of purification. A lot of times, people get so caught up in not eating this or eating that. You need to understand what would be the purpose of detoxing the body. Your body is the temple of the spirit. So detoxing your body will be a part of the process. But I'm trying to show you that in every religion, every tradition, there's some type of purification that a person must go through before they move forward. And a lot of people do not want to take out time to purify. They want to just pick up a candle. When I do candle work, I cleanse the candle. That cleansing is the same word as purifying. Now, I want to show y'all, before I go any further, this is myrrh. This is the actual resin. Most tradition will teach you to use bitter herbs to cleanse yourself. This is why they use myrrh in those days, for cleansing. Myrrh represents sanctification. Sorry. But when people don't understand why you use bitter herbs or bitter resins, because they don't understand that it's a cleansing process. What? Oh, he already been blocked. Don't worry about him. Let me tell y'all something. In this life, when people don't respect themselves, you cannot expect them to respect your boundaries, your rules, or your regulations. They have to be enforced. This is how a lot of times people say, well, oh, I didn't mean any harm. Actually, you did. But what happens is most times a lot of people don't get repercussion for those actions. Well, we living in a time now. Yes, we have to get to the point in our spiritual practice that we have a place within the spirit world that we can there are actually consequences for violating people's boundaries. Exactly. You're not mentally disabled. You know better. Exactly. Even the sad thing about it, even the people that we know that are physically disabled don't do some of the stuff that a lot of people say that they're disabled that they do. Hey, thank you so much. Monique is our executive secretary, so she was taking care of some business for me. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Esther and talk about this king is because I need you guys to understand something. If you're going to practice spirituality in any tradition, there must be a cleansing. There must be a purifying. There must be a detox. It is impossible for you to be able to minister correctly and effectively to people when your mind is clouded with all types of toxic information. A lot of people don't realize that you have to mentally detox before you can effectively minister to people, or you're going to minister to them through a mental filter that is toxic. You're not going to be able to perceive it clearly because you got a lot of stuff going on in your mental mind. A lot of people, when they want to lay hands, and say for instance you want to work with healing people, your body has to be healthy. Your energy has to be clean, because now you're going to go into an energy that is what? Defiled. An energy that a person's body has been broken down. So that energy is tainted. And if you don't know how to cleanse yourself, you can actually go in healthy and come out sick. This is why this is important. A lot of you don't want to take the time to go through the purification. I'm here tonight. Thank you so much. I'm here tonight to tell you why I use frankincense and myrrh. If you use the incense, you can order this. But I personally use the resin. The why that is important. If you want to operate on a higher vibration, then you must detox spirit, soul, and body. The cleaner your body is, the cleaner your mind is, the cleaner your energy is, the higher you are able to vibrate and deal with the higher spirits. Don't let nobody fool you. Anybody that if their energy is not clean, they're not communicating with those high vibrational spirits, because those spirits operate on a certain level, and they're not going to come into an atmosphere that is that's not at that vibration. They do not dwell in that energy. I'm going to say that again. Here is Esther. These women took 12 months 6 of those months was working with nothing but bitter resin called myrrh. 6 months. The other 6 months was sweetening. Anytime your accuracy, you never. Thank you so much. After you cleanse yourself, thank you so much, Taurus, for coming in. Let's get healed. Healy, I think that's what it's saying. So when you think about once you go through your cleansing, once you committed to do a mental cleansing, I have the resin and essential oil for this. Okay, great. Now I'm going to show you. I don't want you to just to get this. I need you to have the understanding of what frequency that this operates in. And then if you understand it from a scientific base, you will have a better understanding why sometimes you feel like you have a better communication or connection with spirit. And then there's other times you don't feel like you have a clear connection. And that has to do with cleansing. That has to do, have you spent enough time cleansing your energy? Because let's be honest, we live in a toxic society. From our jobs, from our relationship, people have a lot of filthy, dirty energy. They think dirty. They got a lot of resentment. They got a lot of hatred. They got a lot of unbelief. They got a lot of frustration, anxiety. These are not high vibrational people. Okay, so if you are not cleansing at least twice to 3 times. Like with me, I cleanse a lot. I cleansed yesterday and I took another bath today because I have been dealing with spirits that have died in certain places in their life, and I've been cleansing them. I've been dealing with people going through certain things. So when you're dealing with that kind of energy, you have to make sure that you're constantly cleansing yourself, and you have to have a resin or a herb that is strong enough to cleanse on more than one level. I think it is inevitable. I didn't think there's an escape from it. So you need. Yes. Let me tell y'all something. Even getting around people, I wouldn't use the word negative, but they're not completely convinced what God can do. Being around that too much will mess with your way of thinking. I don't care how much word you have. I don't care how much you don't see. But being around people that second guess themselves, being around people that are wavering, being around people that are 1 minute they on, the next minute they off. Those type of mentalities can affect you if you are regularly around those people, which means that you need to do more regular cleansing. And once again, I'm only here to talk to grown people. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, who to hang around, who to be with, who not to be with. That ain't my business. What I'm saying, if you as an adult make a decision to be in the company of certain type of people and you want to still remain high vibrational, then you're going to have to do more work, which means you're going to have to spend more money in your cleansing because of the environment or the people that you choose to hang around. I don't want to hear this talking about how they are. You're making a choice to be around certain types of people, or you have a job that causes, thank you Aquarius for joining in. You have a job that has you around those type of people. That means that you have to take the initiative every single day, if not every single day, every 2 days, to do a cleansing on yourself. To make sure that your energy is not being contaminated, or your mind being contaminated, or your spirit being contaminated. Now, if you serve people like I do, you need to be more in your cleansing. I burn incense every single day. I do cleansing work around my house, on my truck, where I am. Taurus, all right. What's my girl name? Flow Life for Life, yes. Now, if you're not engaging with people like that, if you go to church, y'all hear me? Especially with these virus, there are more sick people in the church most of the time than actually at the hospital. But if you go to church or a gathering, and you know that most of those people in there are poor, most of those people in there are struggling, that's an energy. That's a frequency. That is an energy. You need to cleanse yourself. If you are constantly hanging around people that are constantly in financial problems, you need to constantly cleanse your hands. If you're touching, you're engaged. If you give somebody, let me tell y'all something. You can mess up your finance by simply giving your money to people that are not good with money. Because your energy is on your money. Once you pass that money into their hands, you have made a connection. Energy is transferred just like that. And if you're not on a certain vibration or frequency, they can disrupt your flow in your life. That's how real this is. This is all scientifically proven. But if you have lived long enough and you have been practicing your spirituality long enough, you know that this is true. This is why we are knowing our hands, our head, and our feet. Because we're walking on grounds and you don't know what type of energy. Somebody could have got murdered in that space. Somebody could have got beat up in that space, and you walk in that energy. So you have to keep your energy clean because you want to be able to maintain your vibration. It's work, y'all. That's why a lot of people do not truly practice spirituality, because it is a lot of work. Any real nurse, any real doctor, any real dentist know that they spend a lot of money in cleaning supplies. Any real person that keeps their house clean, they can tell you, in order to maintain cleanliness, they spend X amount of dollars. There's no way that you are spiritually clean and you spending $2 or $3. You ain't gonna make me believe that, and nobody else that practice their spirituality. Anybody that truly has a healthy body can tell you they spend a lot of money keeping their body healthy. If they're mind, they spend a lot of money, whether they're buying music, whether they're buying books, they doing a lot, because it take a lot of work to maintain. It's not a one-time thing. Hey, come on here. But you know how many people that really believe that I took a spiritual bath. Well, baby, when did you take a? Oh, I did that 3 years ago. 3 years ago? What? Like, why are you in a tradition? Why are you in spirituality and you're not educating yourself? Why aren't you understanding why somebody would take a whole year to cleanse themselves, to purify themselves, just to go before the king? How often should one cleanse? Good question. Depending on how toxic the energy is, because everyone, I say we grown, right? Everybody knows who they dealing with. When you know you're going into a type of a mentality, because energy is also the mentality of people. We know when we around crabs in a bucket, right? We know when we around trifling people. We know when we around hypersexual people. We know when we around broke people. People create energy. So depending on the type of people that we're around is how often one should cleanse. Some of y'all need to tell y'all, listen, you need to give me some money, because I spend too much time cleansing myself, because just our relationship is too costly, because I have to spend so much energy just cleansing myself just to hang with you. Thank you for saying that. People won't, I'm going to tell y'all what she said. She typed. She said, people don't want to take time to educate on this, but want all types of miracles. They want to be able to commune with the ancestors. They want to be able to commune. Like all this stuff they may see somebody like me or other people dealing with, and they will, I want that kind of spiritual activity. But are you spending the type of money into the resource to keep your energy clean so those spirits can come into your energy sphere? Because they're not going to come if you vibrating low. You're going to be dealing with some other kind of spirits. You're going to deal with some other kind of energy, some other kind of Orisha, some other kind of Nkisi, some other kind of Orishas. Because all Orishas ain't good. They ain't bad either. Everything got a purpose. But this is Esther 2 and 12. They took a whole year. Half of that year was to cleanse. The other half was to sweeten. If you cleanse your house, you need to burn, or you need to replace that energy with something sweet. They call them sweet baths, sweet cleansing. That's why I told some of y'all to get honey. Did I even leave some up here? Yeah, some of y'all, and let me tell y'all something. There got to be a balance to your energy. There got to be a balance to how you, because you got to have a goal. You have to have a certain, like, what do you want? What do you want to experience? What do you want to happen in your life? Are you willing to put the work in? I'm asleep in my water. Yeah, I'm gonna burn some High John the Conqueror incense right now. Hold on, y'all. If you don't have, I got a this is black obsidian, and I use this to cut cords. When I say cords, connections of negative energy. But let me tell y'all something. Don't be you trying to cut cords with people that you're going to go back and reconnect that cord. How does one cleanse this the right way? Let me tell you, okay, let me explain it like this. There's a cleansing that you use, spiritual baths. I prepare spiritual baths, but just say, for instance, when you want to cleanse yourself on an astral level, and you want to cleanse certain parts of your body, you would do a cleansing with water. And then there's also a mental cleansing that you would use incense. And then there's ceremonies that it gets very, I just want you to know, there are some things you can do that's right on the surface, that's right on the shoreline. Then there's other things, because of the type of workings that one may do, that the cleansings and the purifications and the those things get deeper and deeper, and they get more taxing, I should say. They become more, they're more in depth, you know, and that just means just like over here versus these, some of the things. If you're just around everyday people, they not practicing magic, they not practicing spirituality, they just got some funky energy, burning some frankincense and myrrh, or some light, some sage, or some Palo Santo should take care of that. I'm talking about some of us that actually go to spiritual places like church, like bodegas, like botanicals, I meant to say, shrines, where we are going to places where people are actually practicing spirituality, or we're around people that are practicing spirituality, because that's important. You're going to a church and y'all prophesying, casting out, as y'all say, casting out demons. You need a whole nother level of cleansing, because there's actually spiritual activity going on. That is not just energy that people are projecting. Those people are prophesying things, speaking things. They're reading, affirming certain scriptures over you. They're putting their physical hand and transferring spirits or energy. That is a whole nother type of cleansing. Yes. You would need this. I have a bath cleanser that is excellent, that it should cleanse most of the things that I'm talking about tonight. Unless somebody done put some real heavy work on your ass, and then we got to do other stuff. But this right here should take care of a lot of the cleansing. My bath cleanser. If you need something heavier than that, I got some for that. But that right there normally takes care of everyday cleansing, washing your hands. Brother Mario uses my cleanser for money, but what he do, he washes his hands in the cleanser, and then favor comes. You know, you always got to keep your hands clean. So using certain bath cleansers, or cleansing yourself, or cleansing your head when your head is cloudy. You have to. It's a constant maintenance. Now, let me show y'all here as well. Verse 13 in the same chapter, Esther 2. It says, then thus came every maiden unto the king, and whatsoever she desired was given to her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. So the purpose of the cleansing was for them to be able to get before the king, and whatever they asked the king, the king granted them. So you're not just cleansing yourself. You're not just purifying yourself just to be doing it. There is a reward or a purpose of why you do the cleansing. Because once you cleanse yourself, then the ancestors can come in and bless you. Once you cleanse yourself, then the angels can come in and bless you. Once you cleanse yourself, then the Spirit of God can come in and bless you. The reason why you want to operate on a high vibration or high frequency, so these higher beings can guard you and protect you and also bless you. They will grant you certain requests. You want to be able, they say, hasten to his throne. Well, to be honest with you, sir, to be honest with you, ma'am, you're not going to get to the throne of God because you're too heavy with all these other negative emotions, negative thoughts, because those energies, those vibrations weigh you down. Has anybody, hey Pisces, my Pisces in the house. Is anybody in this live that has used my my bath cleanser and can tell you guys like how lighter, how much weight they felt lifted off of them after taking that spiritual bath? Because a lot of times you don't realize how much weight of energy you're carrying until you have a real cleansing. You don't understand why you really can't sleep all the way through the night, because some of y'all are carrying certain energy. And when you get a good cleansing, you sleep like a baby. We are spirits, and we're constantly absorbing energy when we're interacting with people. I don't care if you're going to the grocery store. I don't care if you're going to the laundromat. I don't care if you're going to the mall. You're constantly... Kimberly sent a cash out to the apostle. All right, now come through, Kimberly. All right. Thank you so very much, darling. Now, there are so many different tools floating on clouds. So like, exactly. Unless you've had a cleansing, then this might not make any sense to you. But if you have ever had a cleansing from me or somebody that knew what they were doing, you know what that feeling is when you say you feel light as a feather. That's real talk. Because you don't realize how much energy and frequency or emotions you done picked up, whether dealing with family, especially like right now, so many people are dying. It's such a heaviness in the atmosphere from so many souls leaving before time. A lot of y'all don't realize this, that when people leave their body before it was destined for them to leave, mostly, especially if we were in the Christian church, oh, it was their time and God knows best. No, some people leave before time. They are ejected out of their bodies before time. And a lot of times those spirits are upset because they know they left before time. And some of them take a lighter side to it, and some of them take a negative side to it. Everybody different. Spirits are different. But if somebody was killed, those energies, especially if they die in sickness and they die before time, that is sickness is a heavy energy, and it weighs on that spirit even when they cross over. And a lot of those spirits carry that energy. And when you're calling your ancestors and they died a certain type of way, you bring that same energy. Let me tell y'all something. I've been practicing spirituality a long time, so I'm going to get real with you. If I want somebody to have an accident, I work with a spirit that had an accident and died. If you want somebody to go crazy, go and take dirt from an insane asylum or a mental hospital. The same way you can do good, the same way you can do evil. That's just me being real with you. When somebody died of sickness or they died of a heart attack and you working with that ancestor, that spirit, then if that spirit has not been cleansed and exalted, then you're going to start experiencing them same issues. In order for you to understand why we cleanse, you got to understand what could happen if you don't cleanse. If mama had money problems and you working with mama, you going to have money problem if you don't cleanse. This is why this particular work ain't for everybody. I see so many people talking about they're going to do ancestor altars. You don't know enough about your own spirit No less than in anybody in your bloodline spirit. Because nobody wants to take out the time to actually study and to know their energy. That's why I constantly ask you guys when you come on my live, your zodiac sign. You're not doing that for me. I already know my zodiac sign. Some of y'all so ignorant, you think you're doing me a favor because you ignorant. I'm trying to show you how to manifest your energy. I'm trying to show you how to manifest your approach. Because some of you do not cleanse, and then you have sex, and then you go, thank you so much. You go before certain spirits, and you ain't cleansed yourself, and you still got that sex energy from that dude or that woman that you were having sex with, because that energy is still on you. And that spirit rejects you, not because of you, but because they rejecting the energy that you done tied yourself to. Some people can't get blessed because of the person they sleeping with. Oh, y'all want to get real? You need to, especially if they do not practice your spirituality and you're trying to bring that energy before your ancestors or before your orishas or before your loas or before the archangel, whatever spirits that work with you. I was going to say this information you telling should be brought. Unsurprises. Let me tell you something. You know why? Certain things that I teach, and a lot of people think I do give out a lot of information, but I'm going to do certain classes. I can teach y'all some very in-depth stuff. A lot of people would charge for this information. I'm freely giving this information. This on the real. Yes. If you really want to see some stuff, I can show you. But let me tell y'all something. Cleansing is so, yeah, Sister Moni, we've just set up those classes. Cleansing is so important just for your sake. When I tell you guys, and I'm going to say this again, when I tell you guys post your zodiac sign, that is not for the beneficial of Apostle Samuel Jr. I understand my practice. I understand what I do. I know how to manifest. I know how to defend myself. I know how to defend my loved ones. I'm not getting on here because I need some of you guys to show me or tell me that I'm great and wonderful and I know my stuff. That's not why I'm at. I am trying to give you information because there's too many people out here that don't know. Before you even get into the spiritual practice of any tradition, there's some fundamental things you should know. There's some fundamental things that you should expect to be able to go through. There's some fundamental things. It's like, let me tell y'all something. Because we don't even, like when I tell y'all about manifesting approach, it's not just in spiritual stuff. It's how we approach one another. It's how we approach a situation or a circumstance in family. It's how we approach people in authority. A lot of you all just don't know how to approach. You think that you can conduct yourself. Let me tell y'all something. I've watched people try to approach the same women, all women the same way. Every woman, you cannot approach us in a certain way because you don't understand how to manifest your approach. There's some women, there's some men that you cannot come at them a certain type of way or there are going to be consequences for that approach. Let's not even get to talking about spirits. Let's not even talking about divine things. Just not understanding how to approach people when you need help from them. Knowing how to talk to that person. Knowing how to approach them and you need their money or their resources. You got a bad approach. They know I'm going through. They know. No, that's not how you get somebody to move for you. And I can tell that you're not good in spiritual practice because you think that these spirits are there to serve you. You're going to them for their help, but you don't want to do what is required to get their help. That's ignorant all by itself. Certain people could not get my help because they don't know how to approach me. You can't come to me and think you're going to get something for nothing because you're going to lose me right there. Anybody that is truly into spirituality, I don't care whatever their tradition is, go into with an adult mind realizing there's nothing for free. If you can understand that concept and you understand the universal law of reciprocity, that you got to give to get. And depending on how much you give is how much you get back. If you just understand that basic, ain't nothing deeper and wonderful about this. And I'm talking about, I deal with people that struggle with the basics. And now you want to talk about you or some spiritual, powerful person like that? No, it takes you understanding in spiritual. Thank you so much for the gift. Understanding why these processes are so important for you as the individual, for you as the practitioner, for you as the nurse, for you as the mother. We don't even cleanse our kids when they come back home. We don't cleanse our kids before they go out. We don't teach them how to cleanse because we don't do it. We don't see the importance. I'm going to say that again. We as a people do not see the importance of cleansing because we don't understand spirituality. And so therefore, I've been on TikTok. I keep repeating this. If you want somebody to believe that you are serious, then you are willing to invest in yourself. Most of these kids, when they go around, be peer pressure because you don't have no protection over them. You don't have their head, their aura is not protected, so their mind can be easily influenced. They can be easily influenced by the television, the radio, the music. But if your child has learned how to protect themselves because they watch mommy or daddy protect themselves, then they will practice that same thing. But they don't because you don't do it. You're more concerned about what color weed you're going to put in your head, or what kind of hat you gonna put on your head or turn it back. That's what you call life. No, you got to protect your mind so the influences that are out there don't cause you to respond to it. You're supposed to be in control over what you're thinking. How you feeling? Come on here, somebody. Now, the reward of the cleansing is to get the request from the Spirit. Whether the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Risha, whatever your tradition is. This is universal. If you don't go before that spirit with the right approach, you're going to be rejected. Some spirits just walk away from you. Other spirits chastise you. This is why you should understand the spirit that you're calling on. You should understand the spirit that you're trying to work with. You should do due diligence and studying to show yourself. I'm going to say this again, and you're going to hear this in every live because I got too many people go by how they feel and what they think. And you think you can approach certain deities, certain spirits that are vibrating on certain levels any kind of way. That's why you're getting the recourse you're getting. Spirituality would not be so dangerous to you if you would respect how that spirit wants to be approached. If you knew how to approach certain men, you can get anything you want. But some of you don't even know, especially, let me tell y'all something. This covers every aspect of life. It don't just affect your spirituality. You don't know how to manifest your approach because you don't sit down first and count up the cost. You don't say, you know what? I need this man of God's help. But he done told me already, I got to be willing to invest in myself. You know what? People try to email me, get my email, and tell me all their problems. I'm ignoring your email. Because you're not respecting how I told you to approach me. Because your problem ain't your problem. You are your problem. Because you don't know how to follow simple instruction. So I already know that you're going to be a problem because you're not going to follow my instruction when it comes to spiritual things. Why would I practice spirituality with somebody that don't like to follow instruction? And knowing that following instruction is very essential into manifesting what they desire. Because no matter how much you want something, if you don't follow instruction, you're not going to get it. Exodus 19:10. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow. 48 hours of sanctification. Purifying. Right here, this God. And let them wash their clothes. Verse 11 says, and be ready against the third day. for the third day the Lord will come down into the sight of the people upon Mount Sinai. Now, a lot of people, people say, oh, I'm going before the Lord. Not like that. Is anybody hearing me tonight? How many people are telling you that they going before the Lord? I'm going to go before the Lord for you. And you ain't cleansing yourself? This God that we say we serve is giving us specific instructions how he wants to be approached. And you still watching other people acting like an ass, think that they're going before the Lord. He is not listening to them because he's already told you how he wants to be approached. I'm going to say that again. Any divine spirit has already given people that work with that spirit instruction how they want to be approached. And you, with your fast ass, as old people say, oh, you flip fast and flip. You're going to sashay right in front of them and wonder why you're getting a negative response because you don't want to follow the rules and the regulations. I'm slowing it down. You cannot manifest the approach because you don't want to consider who you're talking to. And I'm going to say this tonight. I know that many black men in America, the black male has been degraded so low that it's okay to disrespect a black man. I get it. But I want you to know tonight, that there are certain black men that are in a place that if you come with the foolishness, you're going to see another side of God that you have never seen before. And a lot of black men need to understand why their spirituality is so important. Because you have been dormant in your spirituality so long that the lack of respect for even your skin, your voice, your opinion, your money, is little to none in this country. So sometimes I have to go ham. Not because I want to, but because certain women and certain people are so used to disrespecting, disregarding the voice of a black man. That's why some of y'all can sit there and see other people come into my life. And I do appreciate some of my sisters because they with me. Because real women understand a man of authority. But because of the lack of respect for the black male, I run into this. And I'm here to tell you, I had a lot of women have to leave my church because they didn't have no respect for a black man. You disrespect your father, you disrespect your husband, the man you lay down with, baby daddy, but you will not disrespect me. Your approach to me is disrespectful. Trying to offer me sex when I told you that's not what I'm looking for is disrespectful. But because you have approached other men in that way, I'm trying to show y'all this. Because the mentality you have naturally is also the mentality you have spiritually. You're not a different person. And if you don't have no respect for a particular gender, if you don't have respect for a black woman or a woman in general, then you're going to disrespect her spiritually. You're not going to be something different. And I'm not just saying this, I'm telling you about me. But if you are with a disrespectful man, he didn't respect his mama, he don't respect his sister, he don't have no respect for you or your feminine energy. This real talk, y'all. I say I'm talking to grown people. You must be 18 years or older because I got to go here. When you come around somebody that is laying down the law and you're not accustomed to your father's authority, you're not accustomed to your husband's authority, then you're not going to be accustomed to a man of God or any type of black man practicing spirituality because you're not used to following his voice. And you're going to come with a different approach than what he has stated. And then you're going to say he's disrespecting you, but you're the one that has not followed instruction. Whether it is in his business, whether it is in his home, whether it's with his children. I've told so many people I'm not nothing to be played with. And don't y'all know that they still will sashay their ass in front of me. And then when I do what I do, after already warning them, already telling them what I don't have time for, already telling them that I got too much going on for the foolishness, they still try me because they manifest their approach with what they have been accustomed to. They're accustomed to talking to a man any type of way. You're not going to talk to me like that, sweetheart. I'm not your child. I'm not your piss poor baby daddy. I'm not your bitch ass boyfriend. I'm not him. I'm not that black man that you take care of and you tell him when to go and when to come. I'm not him. So when you approach me, understand you're at a different zip code. Understand you're at a different address. Understand that you are at a different frequency. See, I'm not telling you other black men to do what I am saying unless you're in a place to make that correction. But you need to get in a place and you need to get some cleansing, because there's something mentally wrong with you to be okay with being disrespected. Because if you won't stand your ground naturally, you ain't gonna stand your ground spiritually. Talk to me, brother. If you ain't willing to invest in your own spirituality to gain your own power, whether you're a Pisces man, whether you're a Scorpio man, a Capricorn man, and if you're not trying to gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because that's what women respect, power. A real queen would do just what Bathsheba did. She had heard about King Solomon. And she came before King Solomon. She approached him as a king. And then she beckoned him according to his wisdom. And she began to ask him all questions. See, a real man don't have a problem with you challenging what I say I am. But you're going to come at me a certain type of way. Y'all want to say y'all queens, and then y'all approach is hoish. Y'all approach is trifling. Y'all approach is disrespectful. And I know if you're dealing with me like that, you're dealing with spirit, and you wonder why your manifestation ain't coming to pass, because you're going to a male spirit with disrespect. You going to a queen in the spirit world with disrespect. So that energy you carry is what's throwing off your manifestation. Because if you go to Shango and he's a king and you come to him like he's not, he's going to reject you. And he might put that axe on your ass. And now you're going around saying, witchcraft, that sorcery. No, your approach, your manifest. You came into the spirituality thinking you can bogart, fast talk these spirits. Because you don't have respect for these energies. So your approach is all wrong. Now you want to go into the church and deal with God, who's supreme over all things. You already disrespectful to the angels, the Orisha. Now you want to go to the big boss. And you want to go before him in a kind of way. You want to approach him in a kind of way. And think it's going to be acceptable. Once again, you need cleansing. You need to get your mind right. Invest. If you really want to soar in your spirituality, you need to, hey, my girl Dominique, you need to invest in your cleansing, because it's going to open up your mind. It's going to give you the opportunity to understand why you're struggling in certain areas. When you work with myrrh, Esther did 6 months cleansing. Depending on how deep you trying to go in this thing, you're going to have to spend time getting you clean and stop taking them trifling ways that you have into your spirituality, because it's going to get you in trouble. And instead of being a woman about what you did and how you did, being a man about what you did and how you did, you're going to make it about the tradition instead of how you approach that tradition. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but people tell a lot of lies. They approach the tradition with the mindset, I'm going to buy my way to a blessing. Since I paid for this, I'm going to tell that spirit what to do. You're not respecting that spirit as a divine being. And that's why you're getting your ass handed to you. And that's why you have a bad outcome. Not because of the tradition, but because of your approach. Learn how to manifest your approach. Now, I'm going to talk about somebody. I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to deal with Oshun because we hear Oshun a lot. Oshun is a spirit of sweet water, embodies love, romance, wealth, beauty, abundance, magical knowledge. Oshun has dominion over things that flow, water, honey, love, money, mother's milk, and so forth. Her power extends to various parts of the human anatomy. Now, it says Oshun's birds are parrots, peacock, and vultures. Her botanicals are marigold, rosemary, pumpkin, and yellow squash. Her numbers are 5. Her planet is Moon and Venus. Her day is Friday. Why I said a little bit of this. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Oshun. Hey, don't move on yet because. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'll go back over there because I did talk about that. Now, the reason why manifesting approach. First of all, her day is Friday. You're gonna approach her on Thursday. Her number is 5. You're gonna give her 7. That's Yemiya. But Oshun is 5. Done told you what the number. Done told you, but you're not gonna approach her like that. Instead of bringing her peacock feather, you're gonna bring her dove feather. You're gonna do what you wanna do. Her colors are yellow, gold, and orange. You're gonna bring her red. Because most of y'all don't want to admit your approach to spirituality, when the rules and the regulations have been told to you, you're going to do it however you want to. They done told you, you're going to deal with Ogun. You're going to deal with this spirit. I'm literally telling you. I am literally telling you what type of energy I have. I'm literally telling you what type of person I am. And I be damned, you going to still approach me in the way I told you not. And you wonder why you get fury instead of pleasantry. Because most people do not take out the time to cleanse themselves with myrrh and use bitter herbs to get all that toxic energy, that toxic thinking, fumigating themselves. And then you come into a practice with rules and regular every tradition. I don't care what it is. If you don't like the tradition, get out of it. Stop trying to change people's tradition. The same way you come into people's household. They done lay down the law. This is how we do it over here. And you're going to come in with your approach and try to change it. I see it all the time, y'all. I wouldn't be talking about it. All I want you to understand is why you have a negative outcome with certain traditions. Because you're a type of person that don't know how to manifest your approach. You don't cleanse yourself. You don't check yourself. You don't check how you feel about stuff. You don't check, as they say, check your feelings at the door. You go to you go to the cemetery. You go to a married woman's grave. I'm telling you how y'all do. You go to a married woman's grave that believed in being faithful to her husband. Now you asking this married woman's spirit to help you take the man from a married woman. And you wonder why things don't work out for you well. Yeah. I'm trying to show y'all something. When you approach a spirit, you need to know what type of spirit, what kind of values, what kind of rules and regulations this spirit has. I see people, you go and mess with somebody. I had somebody literally go to one of my relatives' grave against me. When this particular relative do not play about me. People literally believe that they can go and force a spirit to go against what they believe in. And that's when they get into war. You're going to go to my own relative. I know, God, that's what let me know people ain't as spiritual as they claim it. Because if you really understood spirituality, no, it wasn't a shame. It wasn't a shame. No, why it's not a shame? Because she put something on their ass. How about that? When you fool with somebody like me, you go and mess with my ancestors, you don't know because you ain't did your homework. Because know what happened? because in some people family, the people in their family trifling. And you can go to one another in the family and talk about the other. Well, you can't roll like that with certain people in my family. They don't give a hell what I done done. They come for you. You see what I'm saying? All I'm trying to say is when you deal with a spirit, you need to know how to approach that spirit. You cannot go to a spirit and say or do anything in front of that spirit and think, especially when they have told you what they want. Don't get me started on the toxic family. No. But I'm just being honest. When you're dealing with certain ancestors, there's certain energy are in certain families, and that energy is toxic. And then when you start going in there talking about, oh, God, break the generational curse. Let me tell y'all something. I know this might go against some of y'all religion, because y'all hear this. Y'all let preachers, y'all let people that the music going on and you just feeling you all up in the hype, the pep rally kind of preaching. And you start saying things that you really don't know what you're saying. And I'm going to say one of those things. You start saying, I break generational curse. Do you not? That's like when you say you want to break a generational curse over your family. That's like you saying, God, send me 18 wheelers and let them all dump the soot of my family. You're taking on the energy of a curse or a negative energy or negative behavior in your bloodline from 5 to 7 generations. You as an individual are asking to stand proxy. You're asking God to let you be the one to break a generational curse, which is a negative energy. And you want to stand in the gap for 5 to 7 generations. And so here come these 18-wheeler, all 18 of them, turn around in your life and begin to dump that energy. And you ain't got enough frankincense in your house to cleanse yourself. And you wonder why your life start going out of control. Because you don't know how deep that energy run in your family. But it sounds so good and so simple to say, I'm going to break this generational curse. Don't work like that. You're going to take one egg. You're not even thinking scientifically. How many eggs are in a woman's body? But you're going to take one egg and cleanse you and your family. You might have so much negative energy, you need about 12 packs of eggs. But with your mentality, because you really don't understand spirituality and how spirit world works, you get into these churches and these groups and you start declaring, oh, I come against powers and principalities. Do you understand what you're doing? You're literally saying that you're waging war against an army of spirits that are experienced, and you're not that experienced. And not all this stuff coming in, and you ain't got enough myrrh to cleanse. You got a half a pack of incense. How long do you think they're gonna last to keep them spirits off? Because you done declared war. The Bible says before you go to war with another king, sit down first and count up how many soldiers you got. Do you got 5,000 ancestors behind you? You ain't even sat down to figure out what you got working with you. You still don't even understand your zodiac energy. That's what we've been doing at my church. That is, you never tell a babe to go to war with an experienced general. But that's real facts. But that's why most people's life get worse in the church by going to church than actually better, because most people, most pastors do not cleanse their church, and they have people declaring things because it sounds good and talking about, oh, you're going to be the one to break the generation. That means that negative energy or that spirit of that family say, oh, you want to challenge me? Let's go. And you don't know how to war, you don't know how to cleanse, you don't know how to block that spirit, you don't know how to keep that spirit out your house, your apartment, or your mind. And now you having all kind of nightmares and dreams and can't sleep. Now you're getting sick and you're dying before time. It's unrealistic. Exactly. But you know who teach them that? They learn that from the church. They learn that. They get out there. You think you're going to burn one candle and destroy everything. It's so crazy. When you as an individual want to manifest your approach, you will consider, as the old people say, consider the source. Before you deal with any other spirit, and that's even your bloodline, outside of self, spend some time with your own energy. Apostle Elo is not telling you about your zodiac sign to be mysterious. I am telling you about your energy. And if you do not understand that, then how can you move beyond somebody else's energy? How can you mess with Raphael? Is it possible? Possible. What's possible? Is what possible? Dominique, what's possible? What are you asking? When you can cleanse. I did. Let me tell you something. When my family went to prison, it was in I was 18. It is possible to break generational curses, but it is not possible to do it in a session. It is depending on how deeply, because let me tell y'all something, and y'all all done did this at one time or another. Y'all know Psalm 109? You know how many times people have read that psalm and not understanding that you were actually invoking a curse on that person's whole family and their generations? Because you're reading that scripture. And if you go through that whole Psalm 109, and if you're actually reading that on somebody, you're not just cursing them, you're cursing their children's children's children. It says for them to be motherless. It says for them to be fatherless. What you think has been manifesting? And depending on how powerful that person is, who placed that curse on that person or that family, you have to match that energy or greater in order to remove that curse. You just can't break a curse like that. And if somebody was that powerful to put that kind of curse, it's going to take somebody even more powerful to remove that curse. It's not broken just like that. And guess what? If you messing with that type of vibration, that means that that person, whoever's dealing with that energy, can actually get cursed themselves if they ain't in a place. That's why people pay the type of money they pay to remove certain curses, because they jeopardizing themselves in order to move that curse. Because if they don't know what they're doing, or if that spirit is stronger, they can be overtaken, and then they get messed up and their family get messed up. That's why a lot of people out here that have been practicing spirituality for money, that's why a lot of them end up getting messed up. Making a lot of sense of it. Exactly. I don't have a reason to lie to you. That's why exactly. If somebody telling you that they better break a generational, if you sow $100, you sow $1,000, and you talking about breaking a generation between 5 to 7 generations, and the amount of work. Like, let me tell y'all something. Sometimes even when I'm doing good work, my body gets so drained. My stomach, certain people that right now I'm doing cleansing on people. One of the white candles is so black because the energy, the sickness that was on them had attached to them so strongly. So it's taking something for me to shake that thing loose. You can't just be out here. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all also don't know. There's certain people got curses on them because they have made vows to certain spirits. They made vows to God. They made vows to men and women of God. And until they pay those vows, they're going to continue to go through. Why do you think so much poverty is on so many people? Because they make vows with spiritual being and they don't keep their word. I'm the wrong person to tell you going to do something for it. Don't do it. I'd rather you not commit to something. Never mess with people. Let me give you some real good counsel. If nobody ever tell you this. If that man or that woman, I don't care what their tradition is really in high vibration, never commit to doing something for them and not do it. You're going to catch hell. And let me explain this to you. It's going to take somebody above them to move that. Never mess with powerful people unless you're serious. Never mess with people in authority unless you're serious. Never mess with Never try to get something for nothing, because what you're doing, you're carrying the wrong energy. I'm giving you wisdom for free. I'm telling you how a lot of y'all gonna get messed up. There's no easy way. The rules and the regulation were set millions and millions of years ago. God, these are rules and regulations. They are universal laws. There's nothing, no such thing as free. There's no wisdom in doing something for yourself that you do not understand what you're doing. I can't be no more fair than you. When I needed my wisdom to pull, I did not pull it. Because I'm Apostle Ely. I don't work on my own car. I can't be no more honest with you. I don't care who tells you that. Oh, there are certain things you can. No, there are certain things you are not capable. You are not protected enough to be taken on that. Even the people that are protected, it's still dangerous. There's certain families got certain sex spirits. There's certain families that got certain spirits that follow that whole family. They constantly go to jail. They constantly be in trouble. They constantly get cut. You got to be cleansed. And let me tell y'all something. And you might not want to hear what I'm finna say. Your job is not to save everybody. Some of y'all you ain't even out the woods yourself. You trying to reach back and pull somebody else. That is no wisdom. You got the first. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know the scenario, crabs in a bucket, right? Let me say this. If you want to help somebody and you the crab that got out the bucket, and you know what you need to do? Throw them a rope over there and let them climb out. Don't you try to go get them. For the fear of them pulling you back in. I'm going to say that again. If you get delivered from something, it may not be for you to go back in and save them, because then you can get contaminated again, because they would rather you be just like them. I'm talking about your own, the same people that you trying to deliver from the generational curse will suck you back in because they have a problem with you being set free. Come on here now. If you want to really get a cleansing, manifest, you got to deal with manifesting your approach to people, places, and things. There are certain sacred spaces that I see people go, especially when you see on TV, they be going all into these tombs and stuff where these pharaohs, these people have had priests do ceremonies over there, and you walking in all that energy and wonder why y'all bloodline dying out crazy. No matter what kind of medicine, no matter what kind of herb, no matter what kind of prayers be prayed, you still die before time because you done crossed into sacred places. There are certain things that were done over that body, over them bones, over that tree. You see people got stuff set there and you still go there because you don't know how to approach things. Oh, I plead the blood of Jesus. Oh, I plead the blood of Jesus. Go right ahead. You finna get messed up, sir. You finna get messed up, man. You are. And I'm gonna sit back and laugh at you. Because that's stupid. What else I got here? Remember when Jesus washed their feet? This is all a part of cleansing. There's periodically I cleanse the feet of people in my church. Once you make a decision that you want to move forward in certain aspects of your life, there are certain levels of cleansing you need to be partaking in. End of story. No matter what the tradition is, because in order to be able to protect yourself, you have to have a certain level of products where you can cleanse yourself if you get contaminated by dealing with certain type of energy that's not only in your family, if that's what you're trying to do, but also on jobs. You don't know what other people are doing. And you need to learn. Let me tell y'all something. Before you try to, good evening, that's my Sagittarian. Good evening. myself. Let me tell y'all something, and that's why I'm going to take my time. I'm going to say this, and please listen to me when I say this. Stop trying to bullshit your way through spirituality. Stop trying to bullshit your way into spirituality. Be sober-minded and do stuff the right way. Approach stuff the right way. If you want to learn a practice, don't try to go through the back door. Jesus said, only the thief go through the back door, the window. If you mean right, you should be at the front door, knocking. If you come any other way to any tradition, any practice, and you're trying to go through the back door, you're bullshit and you're going to end up in a bunch of shit. I don't know what other way to say this. Because some of y'all think this is a game. And you think you can go in there and sweet talk, and because some of y'all cute, some of your men good looking, and the woman practice. The spirit don't care nothing about your pretty face, your fat ass. I'm being honest with you. Because some of y'all come in there with that BS and get messed up. And nobody that is doing spirituality should be trying to have sex with their clients. I'm just being honest with you. If you think that you can go to these divine spirits like they ain't seen it all, you got to go in with a mindset to doing the right thing. Thank you so much being first time here. If this is your angel, if that's your first time here, put your zodiac sign in. Apostle Ely for to tell you some raw truth, and this for free. If you stop going into life, approaching life, trying to get something for nothing, and go head on and find somebody, or ask God, your ancestors, your spirit, to find you somebody. Scorpio, all right, I got a lot of Scorpio in my chart. All you got to do is learn how to commit yourself to somebody that is practicing, that is authentic, that has proven him or herself to be truly, and then you learn from them. Approach stuff in the right way. Don't go there trying to beguile them, and don't try to befriend them. Go there to learn, because anybody that practices spirituality, they love people that want to learn. They love people that come in hungry for the knowledge and that want to grow. But any of you that come in there with that trickster, you're going to get tricked. I'm going to say that again. Do not go into any, don't go into my, oh, I'm going to tell them what I'm going through and they're going to feel sorry for me. You're approaching it in the wrong way. I'm telling you, sir. I'm telling you, ma'am. Your approach to spirituality is wrong. And you're dealing with spiritual people in the wrong way. And you're so used to, because you're dealing with shysters, that they allow you to handle them like that because they're after $1. The spirit world don't give a damn about your money. I'm telling you. Your money is a sacrifice. And it is an extension of you. It is currency. That's all it represents. Exactly. They will teach you. And guess what? Depending on the type of, if you're messing with hot spirits, it might be even worse. You might end up in the hospital. Some of y'all, all I'm telling you all the truth. A lot of you all have been so fortunate. Some of you have been so fortunate to deal with shysters. People that just knew a couple tricks. But if you mess around and keep that same approach that you got with them shysters and come across somebody that's authentic in their practice, you're going to be in it for a rude awakening. And that's the best counsel I can give you. I'm not here to tell you, sir, to change how you approaching stuff. I'm not here to tell you, ma'am, how to change. I'm telling you, if you don't learn how to manifest your approach, you're gonna be into a lot of stuff. And I ain't talking about good stuff either. But if you learn how to do what Esther did in 2 chapter 12 and 13, and learn how to cleanse yourself and come into to spirituality with the right mindset and willing to be taught and to be trained how to approach not only the people in authority in that tradition, but also the spirits that operate in that particular tradition or house. Some of y'all think y'all gonna walk in. Yeah, Esther, the 2nd chapter, 12 through 13. Look, she took 12 months to prepare herself before she went to the king. That was the regulation of any woman to go before the king. But if you got to go before the king, whatever you ask, he will grant it to you. There's a reward for your cleansing. You're not doing it for nothing. But I see too many people approaching this thing wrong. The know-it-all gonna get your ass whooped. Thinking you slick. Thinking you can buy your way in the spirit world. It don't work like that, y'all. This is free information. This is free information. I'm gonna say it again. This is free information. I'm telling you that anybody that tells you that you can buy your way into the spirit world is lying to you. They just taking your money and they're using their spirit to make you think that those spirits gonna walk. But you cannot use money because spirits don't need that. They need currency. The reason why we use money is for tools and currency. That's the real. Stop. And when you choose to go and whoever you choose to serve with, that's when you're going to really grow. And never serve under somebody that don't have your best interests at heart. Never do that. Some of y'all, all I'm saying, if you want to really grow, especially with somebody, you need to change your character. You got to be slow to speak and swift to hear if you want to learn. Because nobody can teach a know-it-all. No, Libra in the house. Hey, my girl, Josie, thank you so much for joining us. Nobody can teach a know-it-all. You know what I do with people, especially they come in my church or come around me and they start telling me they got certain gifts and stuff. You know what I do? I start letting them, I say, oh, go do this. I won't teach them nothing. Anytime you say you're on my level, I don't need to teach you what I know because you already there. When you go around acting like you know certain things, there's people out there who will test you to see if you know certain things. Hey, sweetheart, my Libra here. Apostle Ely giving you some good advice so you don't walk into these other traditions with the wrong mindset and approach it with the wrong spirit. So you can actually grow. You can't learn enough from me to overpower me. I read people. I already know what your motive is. And I'm old school, so I'm going to give you enough rope to hang yourself. My son said he ain't going to give him enough rope to hang himself. He ain't got it like that. He going to bust a cap in him. When I read and I find out that you around me for the wrong reason, then I set you up. I've done it plenty of times. I've done it to people older than me. I've done it to people. I do it. Because I teach them a lesson. When I tell you who I say I am, I can show you better than I can tell you. I set them up. If you want to approach it in relationship, I just take some time, cleanse yourself, or spend the money to get cleansed. I can't make y'all do nothing. You got to start wanting to see stuff in a different light. I had this young man tell me, he said, I got an auntie in Jamaica and she bad. And he was messing with somebody in my family. And my response was this. Look me in my face, y'all, look at me when I tell you this. I told him this. He was talking about his auntie. I said, that bitch better be as bad as you say she is. Because if she ain't that bad, your ass is grass and I'm the lawnmower. That's my response. Nobody cares of how bad you think somebody else in your bloodline. Anybody spiritual tell you, you're going to have to bring that. Because you name dropping don't mean nothing to certain people. I don't care if you're Pastor Joe Osteen. I don't care if it's T.D. Jakes. You come through here and you ain't approaching things right, you going to get your ass handed to you. I'm going to serve it up on a silver platter for you and Jakes. And he going to have to be as bad as he claimed to be. He going to have to say, get ready, get ready, get ready. Do y'all hear me? Nobody that's spiritual, that have paid a price to get where they at, cares anything about you name dropping. They don't care nothing about your grandma. They don't care nothing about your granddaddy. They don't care nothing about how deep your lineage is. It better be what you say it is. But I'm just telling you, you can avoid all this that I'm talking about right now if you learn how to manifest your approach. If you come in with respect and you come in with a mindset to learn, to help, to support, and be genuine, you won't have these problems. But if you have that kind of behavior, sir, you have that kind of, you're going to run into a problem. I'm just being honest with you all. I done had apostles, prophets get on their hands and knees and beg me forgiveness. I have had that. And they were older than me. They didn't know I had it like that. They tried me, and I put it to them. And their world started going to, they came and said, Pastor Ely, forgive me. They got on it. I had one young man get on his belly, put his face to the ground. And God still sent him out this world. Because when I pass a sentence on you, I ain't taking it back. Because if you ever take me there, I'm going all the way there. Your forgiveness and your mercy was when I told you to back the hell off. Your forgiveness and your mercy was when I told you I ain't nothing to be played up with. Your forgiveness and mercy was when I told you, go on now, go on. After I stopped talking, I'm all about action. Because once I set it in motion, I ain't taking it back. I don't care who you is. I'm going to say that again. I don't care who you is. That's why I'm trying to give y'all some wisdom right now. Stop going in there with that mentality with these spiritual people that are really authentic. Your approach is wrong. Show some respect and some regard, or you're gonna learn like everybody else learn. I'm just telling you, don't tell. I don't care how gifted you are. I done defeated gifted people. I done defeated root workers. I done defeated Obeah men. I done voodoo. I don't care. They done did work on me. I don't get mad when people work on me. You better be able to bring it. I preach a message. When you shoot at the devil, you better not miss. You should go gun for me. You better not miss. Because if you miss, that's your ass. That's real, y'all. Some of y'all out here, y'all are very fortunate. I'm going to say this again because I need to get something to eat tonight. Y'all are very fortunate that y'all dealing with low-level people. But if you step in this heavy ring, I would advise you to do yourself a favor and study the people you fooling with. Because people that are in certain levels, such as I, don't have time for the foolishness. They're not going to tolerate it. Come correct. And you'll get so much more out of me. Be direct. You'll get so much out. Don't come through the back though. Don't try to befriend me. You don't have to befriend me for me to help you. You really don't. I'm a Sagittarian. I'm a giving person by nature. But what people mess up, they think because I'm a giving person that I'm a fool. I ain't that is. I'm a wise man. They think because I laugh and I have a good time that I ain't about that life. I'm about that life. Did someone say something sick? Oh, not in this live. I'm telling you experiences I done had. I'm 48 years old. I done seen some stuff. I done shut people's churches down. I don't care nothing about your father. I said, and I told one pastor, don't let your congregation get your ass whooped. That's what I told him. And I told one of them, tell your pastor, don't make me come to their church. I said, your pastor know who I am. Play with me if you want to. See, I don't beg for respect. I demand it. Okay? Pastor Ely finna get out of here. Listen. If you don't want to go on Amazon, you don't have to purchase it from me. Start cleansing yourself. If you want my products, $35 donation. Email Monique, put my new email in there. You want products? Brother Mario is going to get some of my products on the website. But I want y'all. When it says, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I should say that's my girl right there. Let me tell y'all something. If you're gonna cleanse yourself, I have great products. If you're gonna do it yourself, products, please. If you're gonna cleanse yourself, yeah, absolutely. That's my girl right there. Myself. Let me see what your whole sign. Then hold on. Y'all give me a few seconds. Hold on. That's my girl there. We always following each other. Make sure you guys are following myself 33. That's my girl there. All right. Let me tell y'all something. I gave you a lot of information tonight. Use it. I gave it to you for free. You didn't have to pay $9. All you had to do is sit and listen. If you didn't get everything I said, I'm going to post this on my YouTube. Go back over it. Get the understanding why it's important. And then whatever you need to do to change your mindset about how you approach people, places, and things. If you are at a church and you know that church is highly anointed, if you at a shrine, if you see somebody altar, respect that energy, respect that vibration, respect that frequency. I don't do scare tactics. I do not do scare tactics. I do not make threats. I manifest. That's all I do. If you want to find out, do I got it like that? I told a young man, don't find out if I'm just that bad. That's the wrong time to find out. Okay? That's wisdom. Go on my YouTube account or contact me. Monique, put in there the email for them one more time. The new email. Monique is our church executive secretary. Because I'm getting too many emails and stuff is starting to kind of get out of my control. So I can stay up on a lot of y'all stuff. She's helping me out. Okay? Now, what did I say? Oh, here it is. Hold on a second. Let me try to reach for this. I got a candle over here. I ain't trying to knock it over. My ancestor incense is excellent. It helps you draw your ancestors close to you. Those that are already practiced. If you want to test some of my products so you can be able to speak from a personal space, try my only $35. I prepare them. If you want me to put them on my altar, it's an additional cost, but I'm here to do work. Okay? So this is Apostle Ely. Thank you so much. I want to say to everyone, once again, everyone that gives towards my TikTok, Cash App me. Those that give towards my Facebook and my YouTube account. Y'all know how I do it. I go on my after we go off the live, I click, I screenshot, and I place and I pray prayers over everybody that's gifting. Now, what I want y'all to understand as you're gifting tonight, follow these people that are gifting. These people are supporting spiritual energy. That means they got sense. They understand energy. What I want y'all to do is get the benefit of these lives, and so you can, because you can't do better if you don't know better. And if you got, most of y'all, if y'all had to pay for it, you wouldn't get it. So I'm offering this free information. I'm not gonna give you none of my great jewels, but I'll give you this insight so you can get your mind right. Okay? I missed the answer to the cleansing bath. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sister Jack can tell you, my cleansing baths are off the chain. They really are, and I can say that because I use it myself. I don't put out anything. So thank you. So thankful that you explained praying for generation. No, thank you for asking the question. That's how we learn. There's certain things I can tell you, and there's certain things I can't. I don't tell secrets in other people in traditions. You have to be a part of those traditions for me to get that information. Like I said on the onset, depending on how toxic people are, cleansing bath needed again, please. I'll make sure you get it, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. What I was saying. If you're around toxic people, you may have to cleanse at least twice, sometimes 3 times. Me, myself, I've been cleansing pretty much every day because of all the stuff that I've been doing and working with deceased people. So I'm trying to keep my energy up and trying to keep my energy clean. So depending on what you're doing, but if you're not doing the type of work I'm doing, then if you cleanse twice a week, provided you're not in a toxic environment. If you go to church, I know y'all might not want to hear this. I would advise you to cleanse before you go, and I would advise you to cleanse after you have gone. Just being honest. So at least once a week, but twice a week if you go to church. I'm just being honest with you. Especially most of the church, because they do not cleanse their churches. They don't do it. They so busy, scared to be called witchcraft and sorcery and all this other stuff. Even though frankincense and myrrh is in the Bible. But if they don't do that, you need to take precaution for yourself. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Love you. And Apostle Ely is out.